Trout Snack Tuesday, we're talking about the Blue Wing Olive Spinner Fall, and that is my favorite pattern for the spinner fall, and you can see how wide it is. And one of the greatest features, that orange wing, is for your viewing pleasure. Now, what the heck is a spinner fall? So mayflies go through a couple of stages. They're a nymph in the water, then they come up, and in the process coming out of the water, they're an emerger. They're very vulnerable to the fish. When they're sitting on the water like a little sailboat, that would be called a dun, and then they fly away, and then later on they go through a process where they become sexually mature. They're a spinner. They change their body shape a little bit. They get really long tails, and then eventually those spinners fall right into the water. After their job is done, they're going to lay eggs or just die. And a lot of times late in the day, you'll see especially larger fish lurking and sipping in the shadows, and they seem impossible to catch on a comparadun or an emerger or various sorts. And often those fish are just sitting back there eating spinners with their wings spread wide, and they can be very, very tough to catch. So it's important to have a couple of spinners in your box. We're having amazing blue wing olive dry fly fishing in the afternoon, but it is techy in those fish, and that glassy water can really size up the fly. But I really like the build and shape of this spinner because I can see it, and the wide wing profile that looks like it's spread out on the water really does a nice job of emulating that spinner. So it's important to know the differences between the emerger, the dun, and the spinner, and having a spinner in your box can really help you out in the afternoon, especially in those really glassy slick tail outs where trout love to sit back and eat spinners in the shade and later in the day.